Okay, the North London derby ended in a 2-2 draw. Spoils shared, Robbie, but were you guys lucky to get away with the point?
Lucky. We should have won the game in the end. Aaron Ramsey had a chance right at the end, and yeah, I wouldn't say he should have scored it, but it was pretty good defending by their defender, just last minute, and they were hanging on at the end. Spurs were hanging on. I thought we were a better team in that game. It toed and fro. We were comfortable at 1-0. Coquelin, I don't know what. Again, I said it on one of the other shows. Brain dead football by Coquelin. You know, Harry Kane's not even going anywhere. Harry Kane's not going to beat him for pace. Why he did that tackle, I don't. He's done that a few times as well, by the way, and gotten away with it. And really, as soon as that happened, I was at the ground. That lifted the Spurs fans who were really quiet before that. They were really up for it. They came at us like a train, got 2 goals, and they were looking at that time. But I was kind of happy with the fight shown by Arsenal. We didn't show that against Manchester United. We didn't show that. We showed it in the first half against Swansea, not in the second half. But there was a grit and determination that they weren't going to lose the game. They got the goal to equalise. And I thought after that, Spurs were hanging on. They looked relieved when the whistle went. So, no way were we lucky in that game. No way.
Not keeper should have done better, really, with Sanchez's shot, you think?
Well, that's that's their keeper, isn't it? That's their keeper. The great Hugo Lloris, best in the world, as some Spurs fans will tell you.
The Harry Kane goal was amazing.
That was a fantastic goal. It was.
Goal. I just think both teams blew it, didn't they? Really, one way or another. Arsenal had the lead, and Tottenham got the lead second half, and both teams just not doing enough to win the league. And it does show you that how much pressure does actually play into it. And Leicester are just going along, winning games, and the manager's very calm and cool and letting other people get upset. And the pressure just seems to be, especially on Arsenal, Wenger, for a man of so much experience, seems to fall into traps far too easily.
I think the pressure was double there, though, isn't it? I think you're in a weird position, Rob, because it's not just a case. There's a very real situation exists where if you guys don't win it, which you should win this season, if you don't win it, it could leave the door open for Spurs. And the idea of I can't even begin to fathom how your fan base will react.
I must admit, and it's going to sound like sour grapes from me towards Spurs, but from what I saw on Saturday from Spurs, I don't think they'll win it either. I can see us passing Spurs. I think now, with the position that Leicester are in with 8 points, I think for the first time that Leicester will win it. If they don't win it, they'll have to have a meltdown. But Spurs, I'm sorry, I wasn't convinced.
That was their chance to put them out.
What I would say is,
we hear about the high pressing game of Spurs. They got outpressed by us.
One thing I'd say about Arsenal is, and I think it would probably be similar if Everton were in the same situation if that day ever came, is Arsenal were too consumed with Tottenham on the weekend. And you mightn't admit this because you might be too close to it, but I know, being an Everton fan, it's taking that extra risk going for the winner.
What do you mean consumed? I don't understand that.
Well, you're too close to it, aren't you? Too close. What I'm saying is that it'd be the same for us if we were 2-2 against Liverpool and we were trying to take mass chances to try and win the game. In the back of our heads, we'd be thinking, but if they score, they could win the league. Rather than we need to score because we're going to win the league. It's that. But they could win if we mess up. No, I think that's a mental problem.
We're trying to win the game. We were trying to.
I know, but
we got back to 2-2. I thought it was a brave performance by Arsenal.
I've heard Arsenal fans say, well, as long as they didn't win.
No.
I agree with you.
We were down to 10 men, remember? Yeah? And we're the ones forcing the issue at the end of the game to try and win that.
Being the better team with 10 men's cool this weekend.
I heard a great tidbit on TalkSport during the week. They were saying basically that Tottenham and Leicester haven't been in this kind of situation before, so they don't know the pressure. The players are going out and playing as they would normally, and as if we're playing 11 side in the street. They don't give a monkeys about, going out, shit, what happens if we lose this match? The way Arsenal did it against Tottenham, that's like...
What I'd say to that...
Arsenal have been there and they go, shit, we need to win this game.
But what I'd say to that, and this is what I've been saying for a couple of weeks on this show, right? I believe in Leicester that they're still playing like that and they're playing with no pressure, right? But in the case of Tottenham, I would not agree with that. I think that Tottenham have been, for most of the season, right under the radar. Yeah. And all of a sudden, over the past couple of weeks, the radar's been removed now. Everyone knows that Tottenham have got a great chance of winning it. And they lost to West Ham. I remember they're at home against us. They're 2-1 up against 10 men.
Yeah.
Right? And it ended up, they were hanging on.
Yeah, they absolutely should have. If they totally had that mindset, that was a perfect opportunity. No better opportunity for Spurs to just go put Arsenal to bed there.
Yeah, but it's exactly the same thing, isn't it?
It's
exactly the same thing, though. You just flip it round. The pressure, there is no pressure at Leicester because there is no pressure. There's no one else. Whereas at Tottenham at Arsenal, the pressure is if we don't win it, our biggest rivals might win it. Leicester don't have that worry. They don't have that worry at all. They are just...
I just think that all three teams there are I'd say that's more us who are thinking, we need to finish above Spurs. But really and truly, I just think all three teams this year just want to win it. There's a big chance to win it with a lot of the usual suspects missing.
I think City have still got a lot to say.
Really?
Because I think they are one of those teams that just go, get your heads down and do it. The next couple of games will be the big things for City. If they can get the next 2 games, just win, then...
Again, if they're going to go... I think the Champions League.
But they're the ultimate team. They're the ultimate team for other people's slip-ups because they can get it that run. I mean, don't forget, a couple of years ago when they won it, they didn't get top of the league till the final week of the season.
They weren't 10 points behind.
They're very, very good at doing that. They're very, very good at just...
Still a lot of points to play for.
Oh, there's massive.
But when you look at the... Leicester are in a brilliant position there.
I agree, yeah.
They're like 5 points clear.
Have you seen their next 6 games as well? The next 6 games are against what you would consider the lower teams.
The real tough games for them come at the end of the last 4 games. And I think if they get a couple more wins, I think they're home and dry because then they'll be able to afford to lose some of those games at the end.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting run.
If they win it, they deserve it as well.
I think the biggest issue.
They've been the best team.
I think Ped and Liam are right to some extent, though. I think that the pressure on Arsenal is incredible, and there's so much. I think the pressure is different at Spurs because they haven't got the weight of no one. I don't think the Spurs fans would be devastated if they finished 3rd or 2nd or whatever. It would be a phenomenal season for them. But the pressure of they could use, I think it has its own problems. But let us know your thoughts on that in the comments below. We've got
go back to your original. Weren't
lucky, no.
Lucky.
No.
You're having a laugh. We paid them 3 times this season. They ain't beaten us once.
You were unlucky.
Right?
You were unlucky. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Ball Street YouTube channel. Check out the rest of the Social Club this week.